So I'm going to do a reading from the Soccology book. Now, this book is about the psycho and emotional elements of football, a place in football I feel which is untapped and which is the most important. So things like decision making is seen as the most important skill in football, but it's not developed. It's taken as a byproduct of what happens in training, but there's nothing actually specific that teaches you or allows you to develop it. It's almost just happens as a part of training and repeated experience. So also how mental health appears in football, social exclusion, etc. So I'm going to start off with the first chapter, which is state, which is my favourite one in terms of being most valuable in football. But I'm going to start instead of mumbling along. So I'm going to go to what state is. Your state is the condition you are in at a specific time, your way of being, your mood and your feelings arising from your physiology, thinking and emotions. The main way we experience and interpret the world around us is through our state. It can cause us to feel motivated or depressed and everything in between. And I think this is important because in football, a lot of the times we talk about confidence. This person's really low on confidence, this person's high in confidence. And actually, we kind of use confidence, even though that's the meaning, we stretch it across everywhere. And confidence is our judgment of our abilities. If I'm not good at golf, I hardly play it, but that's my judgment of my ability. Now, if I go to play golf and in terms of how I feel, maybe there's extra pressure around me, people are criticizing me, that's going to change how I feel. My capabilities will drop. My ability to play will be worse than how I judged myself and actually what I'm capable of. Now that's when we're talking about state. Now we're bringing the emotion in. So confidence, judgment, state, emotion. I think that's probably the clearest way to explain it. Okay, so let's hear a state story by one of the players, okay? Claudio Ranieri was good for me and he was happy to give me my break and play me. And over time, his confidence in me grew. He used to call me Rottweiler. So I'm laughing because I used to banter this player about this. I remember we had a game against Charlton in the league and he was going through the names of the players. When he got to the midfield, he said Gronkaya, Lampard, and instead of saying Nicholas, he said Rottweiler. Everyone was in absolute hysterics because of his accent and his use of the nickname. Looking back now, it was a clever psychological move. I think the reason he did it was to take the pressure off me as a youngster in the team, trying to solidify a career and prove I deserved to be there. It took pressure off the team as a whole because the game was important. The game was an important one. We had to win to remain in the Premier League title race. The whole atmosphere in the changing room changed with that one joke. So throughout the chapter, there are some contributions from players sharing their examples of states and state change. That was by Alexis Nicholas, who was at Chelsea. He goes in to talk about Jose Mourinho and also how Jose Mourinho did things that changed his state. We've got Willy Caballero from Chelsea, who shares his stories about when he was playing in Spain. And then we go into different types of states. So unresourceful states, resourceful states, high-performing states. And just to give you an example of the three, or I should say one of the three, a high-performing state is something that we may refer to as being in the zone. So a lot of players would have their rituals before the games, or we call them superstitions. Some players jump up and down, they start shouting, come on, and doing all that stuff. I was never that person, I was just quiet. But there are different things that people do. And something that's come out, well, I wouldn't even say come out, but people speak about more as being angry, how they utilize anger. So Zlatan Ibrahimovic spoke about this in his book. Wayne Rooney, it's known that Alex Ferguson would shout at him quite a bit and he would then be motivated even more. That was part of his motivation strategy. And he's got that famous Newcastle goal where he felt there was an injustice by the ref and he was arguing with the ref and then he goes and spanks in the volley, which is unbelievable. Would he have scored that goal otherwise? I don't know. Obviously, we know he's capable. That's just a given. And there are other players who I work with who say the same thing. So that's state. Boom.